I am joined by Emily Callahan today, the ALSAC Chief Marketing and Experience Officer. That's my introduction for you. And now I'm going to ask you, who are you and what do you do at St. Jude?
Well, hey, Professor, it's great to chat with you today. We can call you Ben from now on since we're on a first name basis, and I'll drop the formal titles. You've told everybody my title. That's indeed what I get to do at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for ALSAC, which is the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude. But really what I am here today is I'm here as a fangirl of the gaming community and of you and what everybody is gearing up to do, because what you all are gathering to do makes this mission possible. And so I'm here in a spirit of gratitude and thankfulness and as the fangirl for all of you all.
Well, that is, I can tell you that we're all honored by that because we love working with you all. We've been working, GCX and St. Jude have been working together for 5 or almost 6 years now. And in all of our different iterations and format, we've raised about $15 million for St. Jude. Is there anything there that you'd like to specifically highlight across that time period, work that you've been doing in the hospital over the past 5 years that these funds have empowered?
Yeah. So can we just pause for a second and say $15 million in 5 years? I mean, can we just celebrate? I hope there's like a sound effect that somebody's going to share behind the scenes. It's extraordinary. And so, at St. Jude, we're leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer and other life-threatening diseases. And I want to put that 5 years in context because you all came to support us and gathered as a community worldwide at such a critical time. At the time, we were just starting what was our largest ever strategic investment. It was a $7 billion strategic plan. And I want you to know the difference that some of that 15 million is made as part of that plan. We were able to dramatically increase the number of patients that come to St. Jude to be treated around the world. And hopefully you all know this, that at St. Jude, no family ever receives a bill. Because you give, we can pay for treatment and travel and housing and food. We also announced the St. Jude Global Alliance, which I just heard this morning has over 100 partners across the world working to increase survival rates in places where, quite frankly, cancer is still a death sentence. So we can talk a little bit about that. And then every morning I come to campus and I go to my office and I see about to open and coming out of the ground, the Advanced Research Center. This is a $412 million research center that hopefully is where we're going to discover the next cures and then be able to deliver those out to the world. But we need your help now more than ever because we don't do anything small at St. Jude, just like you all don't do anything small, right? You start in a restaurant, now you're this giant event. We've just announced an 11...
Space.
Yeah, we're space. We're going to space too, which we can talk about. But we just announced an $11.5 billion strategic plan. It's the largest plan in our history.
Wow.
And we can do that, quite frankly, because of the confidence we have in all of you all being part of our family and supporting us.
Well, that is a big responsibility, gamers. Everybody who's listening, they trust us. So we need to make sure that trust is not misplaced. So you brought up a couple of things that I really, really love about St. Jude. And actually, I like to tell our St. Jude story at Rare Drop is getting to know kind of very intimately all of the things that you do at St. Jude. Every year as we work together, there's new research, there's new things that are highlighted. You pointed out that no family ever receives a bill from St. Jude. And that was like the door opener for us. We were like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Like, that's the kind of thing, because the internet can be cynical. That's the kind of thing that we were like, we want something that's just so high above bar that it represents like almost an idealistic quality of commitment to a goal. And that has always been so incredibly impressive to me. But alongside that, you are sharing all of your research freely. And I get asked, I think as our story at Rare Drop has gone and GCX has gone with St. Jude, I get asked this question more often because it's something I'm passionate about is research. And the fact that all of your research is published for free. What is the catch there? Like, how does that's what I get asked all the time. How is that even possible?
Yeah. Well, first of all, now I get why you are called the professor. So that's good. Now I get it. But let's back up for a second. Even in the no bill, you're right. There's no business model on the planet that has that. So I don't want to underestimate the power of that, because in our view, that's how healthcare should be. You take the economics out of it, right? It's available for all. There's equity in that. That's part of our DNA story, which is so timely for the conversations we're having in the world today. And then, yeah, in that same inclusive mindset, we don't have the corner on all the answers, right? It takes collaboration, working together. So from day one, just as we've opened our doors to all, we freely share our research. So, hey, look, we have intellectual property. Every organization and group does, but our philosophy is that if we hold the knowledge, then we're not fulfilling our mission, right? We're not empowering doctors and scientists to build upon that, to save more children worldwide. That was Danny Thomas's vision when he started St. Jude, that no child should die in the dawn of life. So we freely share the research with the scientific world so we can advance those cures. So a great example of that is the St. Jude cloud. We talk all about this stuff in cloud computing. It's the same for us. We have so much data. So being able to upload that, for example, when we mapped the genome, so we have all these cancerous tumor samples we've collected over the years, so many enriched answers coming from that is rewriting the textbooks on how you treat childhood cancer. So we're uploading that data, sharing that freely so that, again, people can build upon those discoveries. And that's how we make progress together, which I think is perfectly reflective of your community, right? This isn't one person. This is a whole community coming together to say, we're higher minded. We have an ideal of a world that should be better. And you're using your passions and your professions to do that. So there's not a catch. We share, we talk about it, and we believe in that. And we are best by collaborations, just like this one. It's the same for researchers and doctors everywhere.
And that was what blew me away the first time I visited, and we went into the research wing with all of the flags hanging.
Yeah.
One for every country that a researcher who's working there is from, and there's so many hanging in that atrium, and it really brought to mind the reality that the mission that St. Jude has taken upon itself really is an international mission. The as I mentioned earlier, the almost idealistic commitment to all of these goals includes worldwide efforts that you are now engaged with. So could you talk a little bit about what St. Jude is doing internationally? Because just like we are all working together as a community, we recognized online, the internet is international. Right. You can get anywhere from anywhere on the internet. So what kind of work is St. Jude doing for the international community?
I'm so honored to answer this question. It's a huge passion point of mine, and it's actually one of the teams I lead for ALSAC. So you're right. We can joke and say the internet knows no boundaries, but cancer doesn't either. And so, look, here in the United States, we've made tremendous progress. And this is really thanks to you all giving to St. Jude the work we've done and then sharing that out with others. So, in the United States, cancer is still the leading cause of death by disease in U.S. children. We've made great progress. So 1 in 5 children still die from their disease. But globally, particularly in low and middle income countries, it's a death sentence. 4 out of 5 children are going to die and die quickly and often painfully. And that's not acceptable to us. So we've been working globally for 2 decades, but we brought back a really amazing rock star of a doctor and a researcher who trained at St. Jude, popped off to Harvard, came back. And as I mentioned, because of the work we've been doing together in the last 5 years, we launched the St. Jude Global Alliance. So we work in partnership with hospitals and clinics and foundations all across the world to see if we can try to tackle this problem together. And in the time we've been partnering, we announced a powerful partnership with the World Health Organization. So our goal is to raise the overall survival rate for pediatric cancer, for those 6 most common forms of childhood cancer, from 20% today, so really a death sentence, to 60% by 2030. So I meant it when I said, hey, we've done a lot and 15 million is powerful. And I can assure you there's been tremendous impact, but I want you to get excited for what's ahead and know we still need your help. So we've got big, bold goals with the World Health Organization. We're exploring new partnership ideas with them to actually deliver drugs in a more equitable way and powerful way globally. So there's a ton going on around the world, but that's the beauty of St. Jude, just like you all. You bring people together that, may not politically align, and they have countries that don't speak together, but gaming brings them together. It's equally passionate for this mission of St. Jude. So we convene countries together and governments governments and organizations and hospitals and clinics and foundations all around that same idea that no child should die in the dawn of life anywhere. So a lot more work to do. I'm excited what's ahead, and we've got some bold goals we need to do by 2030. So want to do them together?
Yes, I think I like big goals. I'm a big fan of big goals. It's always astonishing to me every time I speak to somebody from St. Jude. There's a different passion point, and it illustrates again like the intentional deep focus that St. Jude has on every aspect of life, whether we're talking about patient care, which is still astonishing to me, or we're talking about research. Every single one of those things is touched by that focus. So I'm always curious to ask this question. Okay. Right. Gaming has become a focus for not just fundraising, but it's become a treatment modality for certain types of diseases, for people who are not neurotypical like myself, who I can get a prescription video game now. Gaming is becoming a very unique and dynamic way to approach treatment. So I'm curious about two things. One, obviously, I'd love to know what St. Jude's near-term plans are for the gaming space and things like that. But overall, I'm really curious, does St. Jude have an approach, and how are you looking at gaming as a thing to use in the hospital as part of treatment?
Those are great questions. So let's pause for just a second and I want to underscore a point you made, Ben, about the power of gaming. And that's what we've seen in the last 5 years of our partnership, right? It's the power of people coming together. You've seen people take this from a personal passion point to creating careers out of this. And then I think it's powerful. Like, we're an example, the work we've done at St. Jude, what y'all have collectively raised, of the power of this community. And then to your point, it's going far beyond. There are careers built off of gaming. We have an entire division here that thinks about this and the potential of how we maximize the community together. We're taking it into spaces as a way to connect. There's a gamification of all things, right? Companies are thinking about that all over the space and place. So I think the easiest way I know how to illustrate it is the power of what I see here. It's not only something that we can use to educate and inform and then think about ways to gamify what we do, but I don't ever want to lose the power of what it's like just to sit down and play a game. And you know this, so many of our patients, they're not defined by their disease, but the disease can be hard, it can be painful, the treatment can be difficult. And you see them light up when they just, whether it's in their patient room or in one of our 4 housing facilities, just get to sit and play games. And that's another way for them to stay connected in community when they can often be isolated here. You've seen what happens when you all come. It's like massive celebrity day, right? Their faces light up. But look, when I throw out all these big things, or we talk about cancer or the $11 billion plan, the main thing I want those of you watching here today is to remember that these are kids just like yours. The kids in your family, that this is family just like it is for you all. And so just as much as this community is meant to you, it means to us in terms of giving our patient families something to do for fun, a place of connection, powerful funds raised. It makes them not feel alone. They know your community's behind them. And then there's infinite possibilities, I think, for what we can do, not only in fundraising and marketing and science and technology. I think we've only scratched the surface on the power of gaming as a country and a world.
I would completely agree with that. Yeah, I think everybody loves games and the stories that we get to tell. I think that's the, to me, what I've seen from streaming and creating content for so long is realizing the embodying power that games can bring to people, especially when you don't feel strong yourself. Games have been something in my life that have helped me get through some of my darkest times, because it gives me a place to go where I feel like, I have control, or a place where I can go and just relax and not think about everything, because those are both things that our mind needs. And it's been so incredible to me to see how St. Jude has just embraced everything about gaming. From when we first showed up. I don't know if you know this story or not, but it feels like a good point to tell it. Our first year we fundraised for you. We didn't talk to you at all. I just pulled your PayPal link from your front page, and I put it into Stream Elements, and that's what was our donation button the first year. And wasn't until Thursday that Zach tracked us down and he was like, hey, like we like working with people, right? and like he's like, we would love to help you and help out. And I was just so blown away because I had been my entire experience as a gamer is your hobby's not important to us. And then to have somebody to have a giant organization as well respected and tenured as St. Jude have a dedicated gaming person reach out and say, hey, like, wish you would have reached out this year. But let's talk about next year. Blew my mind. It was absolutely incredible. That intention was still there, even so early on when everyone else was still kind of looking at us sideways.
Can I tell you my story in reverse of that? Same thing.
Yes.
So first of all, that's the power of the mission. So my job is to help steward the St. Jude brand. It's the greatest professional joy of my life to get to do this. And so that's the power of it. If we're doing our jobs right, it's that you felt like, hey, no problem. I can go out there and I can raise money and make a difference. You felt like the brand was your own, even without an official partnership. But I vividly remember the day that same guy, Zach, came into my office as the CMO and said, hey, look, you need to know about the power of this community and its potential and its reach. And he built one heck of a business case and said, this is the power, this is the reach, this is how it's bigger than sports. And here's so much more we can do with that. I said, we're sold, build a business case. He got in front of the CEO. And I told you, right, you are our heroes here. We talk all the time as an executive team, even with our board, about what this community has done and how much more we can do together. So let's go do it together this week.
Absolutely. So we've talked for a little while. We're going to wrap it up. If there's anybody that's out there that's watching and you could say something to them that, you think like this is the thing for you that always inspires you to give each year, what would you say? Yeah, really easy question for somebody who's so deeply involved, I'm sure. Pick one of the million things.
I could tell you a million stories. I could tell you my whys. I could tell you about the pictures I keep above my desk, about patients who've gone on. But this is the thing that I think is St. Jude's about a fundamental truth that every single one of you watching today, I bet, believes just like I do, which is that kids should have a chance to grow up. Kids should have a chance to grow up. And then the second thing is I want you to know that you have power to make a difference in that. We talk big numbers, but our founder had a really beautiful saying when he started, Danny Thomas. He said, I'd rather have $1 from 1 million people than 1 million from one. And that's how this place has been built. We took what was a death sentence for kids and we're saving their lives. And we have passion and energy and belief that we can make the boldest commitment in our history because of each of you watching today. So I don't care if you give 5 cents. I don't care if you give $1. I don't care if you don't give anything and just go tell others about it. It matters. This is the greatest, I think, reflection of humanity is what we have done together that's now embodied in St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So let's do it. Let's give all kids a chance to grow up. Your work this week and your commitment to sharing the story and giving matters. That's what I would say.
Incredible. Wow. I'm floored. What an answer. Thank you so much. I'm from me and everybody at GCX for taking some time to sit down and talk to us about, the incredible commitment and mission that St. Jude has. And thank you for expressing your gratitude for all of the work that we're doing. It certainly gives me butterflies in my stomach. So I'm sure that everyone else is equivalently happy. I guess that would, that'll be it. Yeah.
It was my honor. It was my honor. What y'all have built is incredible. And I'm glad we're about to follow and you're going to hear firsthand what the work means, I think, in getting talked to a pretty remarkable person that I have the privilege of calling colleague and friend. So
this is an intense week for me. I'm really, I'm really, really grateful that you and everybody have just given us so much of your time this year, because I can't express how deeply impactful it is when somebody from St. Jude, somebody who's, a very visible figure or who has a C-suite title or anybody who comes and talks, it really transcends all of that doubt that they have built into their head, you know, that it can't possibly be this good. But hearing you speak about it, it's just such a great reminder, because I say it to them all the time, right? But hearing it from others is just so deeply impactful. So thank you.
I can't wait to get y'all back here so you can see. But that's the point.
Excited.
Like, this place doesn't exist without you all and what you're doing. And we just know that we are cheerleading right alongside you to watch what you have built from this tiny event to this global powerhouse, and all the creativity and ingenuity you've applied to keeping people connected. And then there are I probably are getting close to saying millions of people who've learned about the St. Jude mission because of the gaming community that wouldn't otherwise know. That's the only way we continue to exist and grow. So yes, pat yourselves on the back and know that we couldn't do it without you. And again, I started by saying I'm a fangirl, so I'll close by saying I'm a total fangirl. I'm excited.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I am Ben Bowman, the charity director here at GCX. And today I am joined by Miguel. Miguel, I am incredibly grateful to talk to you today because you've experienced the mission of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital firsthand. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how your journey at St. Jude started?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Ben. And hello to the entire community. What's up? I'm originally from the Dominican Republic, if you might picked up in my slight accent. So not being from here, you probably wonder, how do you get here? Well, is because of St. Jude. I was diagnosed with cancer when I was 17 years old. There was no treatment available in my home country, the Dominican Republic. And so after flying here to the United States and looking for many places to get the treatment that I needed, none of them could provide it, or we couldn't afford it. At some point, we were being charged $500,000 before the treatment started. And so not having the money, not having insurance here. And then finally we got to St. Jude, and there it was like, oh, don't worry about bills. We're going to take care of you. We're going to give you the surgery that you need to cure you from the type of cancer you have, which was a bone cancer. And thanks to that, I was able to go on remission, which means cancer-free.
That is an incredible story. I talk all the time when we're educating people about St. Jude, about how their mission reaches like much farther than just their own backyard, right? They're not just treating people within a 50-mile radius of the hospital. It's folks all over the world.
Yes, and I have met people from all over the world, and like from my time being at St. Jude, and I have had friends from all over the world. And really, St. Jude is not a mission that is secluded to only the Memphis area where it is located. It's a mission that reaches all over the world. And we like to say that even though St. Jude is not in your community, our research is, because truly the research done at St. Jude saves thousands of lives around the world.
I mean, it's true. The distribution of research that you all do is something that is a huge passion point for me. The first time we went to the hospital, that was what really got me excited. They were like, everybody here leaves their research unlocked, and they publish it and all this other stuff. And I had a little bit of an academic background in my past, and I just thought, this doesn't make any sense, but it's amazing. I loved it. That's one of the things that makes St. Jude special to me. But for you, I'm curious, what is it to you that makes St. Jude special?
For me, it's the people. Well, the food, but also the people. I mean, the St. Jude is like a community I had never experienced in my life, either before or after St. Jude. Now living here in the United States, like the people there at St. Jude are so caring. The doctors there, they just don't care about whether you have money or not, where you're coming from, what do you believe, what do you profess, nothing like that. The only thing that they're there for is for your well-being. And that's what makes St. Jude so special. And that is what it means so much to me, as well as what you have touched already on how the treatment is being shared worldwide. So that means that more kids don't have to travel from the Dominican Republic here to Memphis, Tennessee, to get the treatment that they need, because now St. Jude is advancing in helping other hospitals to get to where St. Jude is at, so kids can be treated there locally. So that's what makes St. Jude special to me. I mean, I still have relationships with my doctors. I reach out to them, and every year on the anniversary of the surgery that saved my life, I reach out to them and say thank you. So it is Yeah, it is
Wow,
a community. It's a family.
that's incredible. What is I'm gonna take a second, and what is it like to be able to be sort of colleagues of these folks that perform that surgery, and to be able to see them around? What is that experience like?
Yeah, and so for folks in the community that haven't caught up yet, not only am I a former patient, but now I work for St. Jude, raising money and awareness. And so these, what Benny saying, my colleagues now, yes, it is tremendous, because I get pleasure from looking at families that are going to treatment, and then they come back like a year later, 5 years later, and their hair is back. And I'm very happy because I was able to contribute to that. But on top of that, I'm a former patient, so I know that same feeling is going through the hearts of the people that took care of me. And the fact that I see them as I walk to the cafeteria and get to talk to them, they just look at me and say, Miguel, I'm so proud of you. I look back at them and I say, thank you. I'm so proud of you for the amazing work that you did to save my life. And it's a feeling, a connection that you cannot really explain, but I'm so grateful for that.
That is so incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, and I did jump ahead a little bit, but I was enamored by that reality. You as you mentioned, you work for ALSAC, the fundraising and awareness organization for St. Jude, and actually, I believe we met previously.
Yes.
Once of
Yes,
you gave us a tour. Yeah. So
yeah, not only that, but I remember we also took a picture. You probably don't remember this, but it was at the zoo. And my brother was with me because he's so into Destiny. He's the only game he plays. And as that was happening, there was somebody in the karaoke machine singing Uptown Funky using his Kermit voice. I can't remember who it was, but it was a great time. So yeah, totally remember.
That is amazing. I do remember Uptown Funk with Kermit voice. That does,
yes.
that does ring a bell. But we touched on it a little bit with you being able to, be colleagues now, working alongside these doctors. And you've already touched on it every time you spoke, because you are experiencing the continued commitment,
Mm-hmm.
So you're experiencing the continued commitment of St. Jude to every patient.
Mm-hmm.
What is it like for you being part of that continuing mission for St. Jude on the fundraising side of things?
It gives a complete different meaning to what I do on a daily basis, because I know that what I'm doing actually has meaning. As being a recipient of the hope at St. Jude for the mission of St. Jude, I know that the money that I'm raising is not going to somebody's pocket to make them rich. This is straight up going to the families and to the research that is saving thousands of lives worldwide. Like, the number of kids that are going to be diagnosed with cancer every year is staggering. And so we need to do something about it. Right now we are celebrating Survivor's Day. It was actually last weekend. And now it has a deep meaning to be a survivor, and also a reminder of we have to do more for the kids that are coming after us, that we have to find a cure for them, that they also need an opportunity to live. Because I was like anyone in the community right now, everyone in chat, I was one of them. I'm still are, but cancer just show up all of a sudden. There was no cancer in my family, just show up. And so for me, being able to be on the other side, it means so much to be able to give back and to do something so that those cures can be funded and those cures can also be given to the people that need it.
That is amazing. Yeah, the gravity of being able to go back and to give back is it's everything that you have just been telling me about your story just puts a smile on my face, because there's this reciprocation of like, St. Jude's mission affecting you, and now you're having the same effect in this like beautiful causative cycle in there. It's wonderful. It's blowing my mind.
Yes, and I think you just said it so well. It's this continuous cycle of just giving thanks and giving and receiving and giving and receiving. I think that encapsulates very well what's happened, because it's not only me, but we have so many other cancer survivors that are also working for St. Jude. And we have this deep gratitude inside of us, that we know that we want to go back and be part of that core team that took care of us, so we can take care of others. And that's an amazing blessing, an amazing feeling.
It has got to be. To change gears very quickly. since we're going to talk about video games, I've heard around that you have been into gaming for a long time. Was that part of your treatment while you were at St. Jude? And then I have a ton of gaming follow-up questions.
Oh yeah, the first game that I ever played growing up, I think I was 5, was Super Mario for the NES. For the NES, yeah, and since then I've been hooked. And for me, it was a big part of my treatment at St. Jude. And the story that I always like to tell people is I got this game and I started playing it, and I was playing in one of the common areas and one of the housing facilities for St. Jude. And then kids will come from all around and they would just sit down next to me just to see me play. And this is back in 2011. And there was one kid who didn't speak English, but then he started learning English so that he can speak to the rest of us and participate and be part of the game. So I always think gaming as a wonderful community that get people together. Like, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what your diagnosis is, you always can get down to, hey, let's beat this boss. Let's go down to that dungeon and let's beat this game. And it's a great sense of community, so I love it.
The deep dive into that's I mean, you're right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we don't have to talk to shoot at the bad guys. Like, we can, like, we can go finish this raid together, even if we're incapable of speaking. That's it really does transcend language like that. So what is it right now? Like, what are you playing currently? And what is your all-time favorite game?
Yeah, so what I'm playing right now is Pokemon Go. Believe it or not, I moved to Michigan just for the summer. My now wife, because I just got married.
Congratulations.
My now wife, she's doing an internship because she's going into healthcare, and so we're here. And we moved to this place that has 2 Pokemon gyms in Pokestop right next to us. And so, like, for my living room, I'm able to battle, and so that's what I've been doing, playing some Pokemon Go. Like, if you know me, my all-time favorite game is the Legend of Zelda series. Like, hands down. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Legend of Zelda. I'm A Link to the Past is like probably up there on my favorites list. And then, okay. So I'm going to ask you this question. Did you ever 100% Majora's Mask?
I did not.
Good. It's so stressful. Man.
The daytime mechanic just throws me off every time.
Yeah, that was I had some friends that did that, and then I was always jealous of their achievement. It was like, how did you ever that's good old Majora's Mask.
Yeah, till this day I watch people speed run 100% Majora's Mask, and it's one of the most fun you'll have.
Oh yeah, it is an excellent speed run. So what is it that you would like to say to the folks watching at home right now, watching the GCX marathon? What would you like to say to the gaming community that's rallied behind St. Jude?
Thank you, guys, because it's because of donations and the time and the awareness that you bring it to St. Jude is that I'm here today, and that many, many, many other folks will have an opportunity, a shot in life to be whatever they want, whatever they decide to do. An opportunity to play video games after treatment. And kids, people with cancer are just like you and I. They were just having a good time at some point, and then cancer show up. And so we are doing a great thing by contributing to this mission of St. Jude, that is bringing hope to the family that need it the most. And even though St. Jude might be in one place, we are sending all the research that we're doing in finding cures and curing kids to all hospitals around the world. So it's a wonderful mission to be part of. So thank you very much.
Wow. Well, that made me very happy. So I'm sure everyone watching is feeling the same way. If you're watching right now on the charity marathon, these are the moments. These are the kind of things that you empower, that you enable. Everything that you've seen, everything that you've heard about today. So I want to say thank you from us, the gaming community, to St. Jude for, believing in us and believing that we represented part of your, the future of St. Jude and something that's valuable for you all. And I want to thank you for giving your time to come talk with us today. And if you're watching at home, make sure you click the donate button. and help support the incredible mission at St. Jude.
Yes.
Okay.
Donate, and thank you very much.